Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Anytime you come across this video, I greet you. If you look at my page, we just finished on sword, and on sword we have done several examples. Are you getting it? But today we want to look at longitude and latitude. Longitude and latitude. Longitude and latitude is one of the simplest topics in mathematics, but some people or some students are getting it wrong. Now let's look at the Earth as a sphere. Earth as a sphere. Okay, now let's say this is what? This is a globe. This is a globe. Let's say it's a globe. It's a globe or Earth. Are you getting that? And on that Earth, we have a straight line. We have N, which is North Pole. We have North. We have North Pole. We have North Pole. Then we have South Pole. This is the South. This is the South Pole. Okay. Then at the same time, we have an equator. We have an equator. We have an equator. So this is an equator. On the north, we have an equator. And after that, we have what we call prime meridian. This is a prime meridian. This is a prime meridian. This is a prime meridian. Okay? This is a prime meridian. This is a prime meridian. And apart from that, this is what? This is what? East. The east side, and what is what? This is the west side. Okay? And this line to this line is known as polar what? Polar axis. This line is known as polar axis. Are you getting it? So these are the things that contain an Earth. Are you getting it? And under this one, we make use of longitude and latitude to locate a particular point under a sphere or an Earth. We make use of longitude and latitude to locate a particular point or a particular area or a particular region. Okay, so what is the next thing you need to know? You need to know what we call great circle and small circles. Great circle and small circle. Great circle, great circle, great circles, and what? And small what? Small circle. Now, let's say you have an orange. Let's say this is an orange now. This is an orange. This is an orange, okay? And you cut the orange into two equal parts. You cut the orange into two equal parts. Okay? You cut it into two what? Into two equal parts. Okay? This is the one part. This is one half. This is half of the orange. Half of the orange. This is another what? Another half of the orange. Are you getting it? And this line is known as great circle. Great circle. That is the half of that orange. Are you getting it? That circular part is known as great circle. The one you take that you want to drain is known as great circle. But the remaining one, maybe you have 3 children or 4 children and you want to give them, what do? You start cutting it. You start cutting it into what? Into circular cross section. Are you getting? So those remaining parts, we call them what? We call them small circle. We call them small circle. I hope by now you should be able to understand the difference between great circle and what? And small circle. So small circles are what? Are those circular cross sections. Those one you give to maybe a child A, a child B, a child C. Are you getting up to a child D? From the half one, we call them great circle. But the bigger one, the bigger part that you take as your own, that one is known as the great circle. So that's like. Then which other thing you need to know? Which other thing you need to know? You need to know the longitude, lines of longitude, lines of latitude, and what? And lines of longitude, lines of longitude, And how do you locate your lines of latitude? And how do you locate your lines of longitude? Let's say you have a sphere. Yes, this is sphere, right? Good. Here is your north pole. Here is your what? The south pole. Here is the south pole. Let me draw it here. Okay, so let's say this is what? The north pole, the south pole, and this is what? This is the equator. This is an equator, rather. So we have A as what? East, and we have A as what? As west. Are you getting it? So this line, we call them what? We call them lines of what? Lines of latitude. We call them lines of latitude. Are you getting it? We call them lines of latitude, or what? That is north of the equator. North of the equator. From here upward, they are all north of the equator. Why this one here? This one here, this line here, we call them what? We call them the same thing as what? The same thing as what? As lines of what? Lines of latitude. Lines of latitude. But in this case, it's going to be the south. It's going to be the south. South of what? South of the equator. South of the equator. Are you getting that? So those lines here, we call them what? We call them south of lines of latitude, or lines of what? Still the same as what? Lines of latitude north of the equator. While from here downward is known as what? Lines of latitude south of the equator. Okay? Now, what is the next thing? Let me indicate the longitude for you. Let me indicate the longitude. Let's say we have, this is sphere now. This is the north pole. This is what? The south pole. This is your equator. Okay? Good. And this is what? Prime meridian. This is prime meridian. Prime meridian. Then we have another what? Another longitude, another line after the prime meridian, another what? Line after the prime meridian. So all this line now, all this line, we call them what? We call them lines of what? Of longitude. Lines of longitude. Are you getting it? So this is how to indicate the longitude and what? And the latitude. And what are the facts? There are 4 facts about longitude and latitude. There are 4 facts. The first fact about what? About longitude and what? And latitude. The fourth fact is what? That all lines of longitude, are what? Are great circle. Then another fact is what? All lines of latitude. All lines of latitude are what? Are small circles, except the equator. except the equator. Except the equator, which is what? Which is a what? A gray circle. A gray circle. Another fact that we have, another fact is that this is 3. The what? The center of what? Of the great circle is the same as the center of the sphere or Earth. Then the last one, which is what? The fourth one is what? The radius. The radius of the great circle is the same as the radius of what? Of the sphere or Earth. And what is the standard value of what? Of the radius of the Earth, which is r? Is known as what? Is known as 6,400 kilometers. So that is the standard value of what? Of the radius of the Earth. Okay. Now let me just explain this so that you will get more understanding. All the facts. Let's say we have the globe. This is the north. This is the south. This is the east. The equator. Okay. Now, what do we mean by all lines of longitude? All this line, all this line, all this line, all this line, all this line. They are what? Longitude. Longitude. They are what? They are the same as what? All lines of longitude are great circle. This is the great circle. All lines of longitude are what? Are great circle. All this line, this line, this line, this line. All of them are what? They are great circle. We call them great circle. Okay? Then another one is what? We said, let's say latitude. This is an equator. Okay? This is an equator. This is an equator. This is an equator. So all this line, they are what? All this line we have here. All this line we have here. All this line we have here. They are what? They are small circles. We call them small circles. Except the equator, which is the great circle. Therefore, this equator here is the great circle. Is the same as what? This great circle here. This equator here. So this equator, this great circle is the same as what? Is the same as what? Is the same thing as lines of longitude. Okay? So the summary is that, number one, all lines of latitude are small circles, except the equator, which is a great circle. That is number one fact. Number two fact is that all lines of longitude are great circles. Number three fact is that the center of the great circle is the same thing as the center of the sphere or the Earth. That is number three fact. Then the last fact is that the radius of the great circle is the same as the radius of the sphere. So this is where we are going to stop today. So in my next video, we are going to look at how to calculate longitude and latitude. Please don't forget to do what? To like, to comment, and to share. Also follow for more videos. Thank you.